Welcome everybody to another edition of the Mind Right Game Time Show. I'm your host, Michelle Morgan. I'm a transformational sports coach, which means I'm a life coach to student athletes on empowering them to reach their full potential in sports, but also in life as well, because we're going to spend a lot more time in life than we do in sports. I'm also the author of How Youth Triumph in Sports, Tools That Create a Triumphant Life, a life skills book written for student athletes on all the important tools and traits that we're learning while being a student athlete, in terms of being accountable, our character, our education, believing in ourselves, and using all those tools and traits to transfer those over to creating a triumphant life as well. I also recently just completed the workbook, so there's a reflection piece now after every chapter to continue to further pushing through in life and in sports as well, in triumphing. And you can get those book and workbook on Amazon. And if you'd like more information about me, you can go to my website at www.vidasauto.com. Today's guest is Skylar Danielle Komatsu. She's 11 years old and has been playing softball for 6 years. Skylar is a leadoff batter and plays second base. Her Camarillo All-Star team just finished 9th in nationals. She also plays travel basketball and has always loved sports, especially because her mom played basketball her whole life and her dad played baseball. So thank you, Skylar. Welcome to the show.
Hey.
Hey. All right. So let's talk about you and your softball. I see that. So recently you guys went to nationals, your all-star team. So how exciting was that?
It was really exciting for the team. Like, we were so happy that we got this far.
Were you guys expecting it?
No, we were expecting to do good, but sometimes lose, but we were like really undefeated.
You went undefeated. So, okay, walk me through this process and how you guys got to nationals. So you guys are from you guys are in Camarillo, and then you guys have to win how many tournaments in order to qualify or get to nationals?
Yeah, we qualified for district.
Mm-hmm.
And then we won districts, and then we qualified for national states. And then we won states, and then we qualified for national. And we were playing nationals for a while until we lost.
Wow. But still, that's a lot of games to go from district to state and then to nationals. I'm sure that was a lot of games. And through that process, what was something you learned during that time, or what was a challenge that you went through?
I think the challenge was there's a lot of lefty pitchers and I'm kind of scared of lefty pitchers because they pitch inside for lefties, and I don't really like inside pitches. So that was like a really hard challenge for me.
How did you move forward past that challenge? Since you said you were facing a lot of them, I mean, you're a key part of your team. So how did you overcome that challenge?
I practiced with my dad, and he threw inside pitches, and I try to hit them, not be scared, be closer to the plate. And I practiced, and then I think I got it. Now I'm not scared anymore of inside pitches and lefty pitchers anymore.
Have you ever got hit with the ball?
Yes, but not in national. Not in this year. It was last year when I was not in nationals. We were playing a game, and a lefty pitcher hit me in the slap.
So when you're in the batter's circle, or getting ready for your next up to bat, and you're seeing a left-hand pitcher on the mound, and you've kind of already thought oh man, I'm usually afraid of those left-hand pitchers. What is your thought process as you're warming up in the batter's circle before you get on base, so that when you get up there, you're mentally prepared?
I think in my head that I'm going to hit this ball. If it hits me, I get a free base. So it doesn't matter if it hits me or not. I'm just going to hit that ball, or it'll hit me. Nice.
And so, I mean, that's really exciting. And then as a team, what do you think made you guys as a team? What qualities did you guys have as a team that got you to nationals?
We really played really well. We had good defense, and we had good hitters, big hitters, and we pitched really well, and we bonded together and worked together to win to go to nationals.
Nice. So it sounds like you guys got like a well-rounded team. Plus, you mentioned you guys bonded together. So that means you guys like being around each other, right? You guys have fun as a team. Is that helpful? Do you think that is helpful towards winning?
Yeah.
It's all your answers. You're the one playing because everybody looks at their experiences are different. So there's no right or wrong answer, just so you know. This is all about you. And so in the process of being a leadoff hitter right now for your team, what is something that you've had to also learn and work on as being the leadoff hitter?
To like show the girls that try to lead off and like hit that ball and get on base so the other girls can hit the ball and score me in.
How was that feeling being the first one up bat? You started off.
It feels like a lot of pressure on me. Like I don't really like being the lead off sometimes because like all the girls are watching you and they want you to get on base so they'll like so they can like score you, like they can like bring you in. And I have like a lot of pressure on me.
How do you overcome that pressure then, since you're the one who starts it all off and all eyes are on you?
I don't think about it. I just get in that box and just think positive that if I strike out, like I'll get it next time and hit the ball hard.
And so you've been working on like hitting from the left side as well, right?
Yeah.
So you had to make a transition as a right-hand hitter. How has that been, making the transition from usually, hitting from the right side and now you're switching over to the left, switching with your left hand?
Yeah, like I've been hitting lefty for a while. So now when I'm trying to hit righty, it's really hard to hit righty because I've been hitting.
You got to reverse now.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that you have a lot of, like when you talk about like how you go into going up to the batter's box, how you mentally prepare, you're talking a lot about, thinking positive, telling yourself you're going to hit the ball. Where did you learn that skill to know how to have that positive mentality when you're up there?
Well, my dad told me that I should think really positive and think like you're angry, like you did something bad, or like you want to hit the ball hard. He told me to be like angry so I can hit the ball hard.
So anger for power, positivity to hit the ball.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds great. So you also play basketball. So how is it playing two sports? How is that going for you?
It's hard.
Yeah, what's hard about it?
It's just playing softball and like my games are like the same time when my basketball games are, and so I don't know which sport I should play right now or later.
How do you handle that situation when you have a game or practice at the same time?
I usually pick what I want to play right now, like what I want to do. Like right now, I was going to play Elite this fall, but my dad is coaching a fall ball softball team, so I'm probably going to play softball. So I don't have basketball like right next to me, and I have to hurry to wherever the game is.
So you're always on the go. And then how do you balance, you're playing both sports, you're playing two sports, and you're even juggling, like figuring out, do I go to this game or go to this practice? And then how do you fit in school to all of that?
I don't know.
Because you're a student athlete, right? So you have the student component and then you have the athlete component. So how do you balance, making sure you stay on top of your schoolwork and then still, performing and being at your practices and games for basketball and softball?
I'm really good doing my homework after school, like right away. Like I finish it, like I'm really good at doing that, and then I just get ready.
So what has been a key to being ready and staying on top of it? Like what kind of traits do you have that keep you on top of it, where you're like right there after school, you're doing your homework? Like how do you stay on top of it?
I stay, like I just think and I just say, I'm just going to do my homework first, and then I'm going to get ready, and then I'll be fine because it's in my mind, so I know what I'm doing, so I'm on track.
So you have a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. You got a plan. So that plan is really helpful, right? Because you're able to know what you need to take care of in order to get to the next step, right? So if you didn't have a plan, you might be a little scattered, especially sounding like, well, the schedule you have, you're going like all over the place. You're like a pinball machine in a way. School, softball, basketball, what do I do? I don't know. Oh, dad's coaching softball, got to go to softball, you know? And so there's so many things that are happening. So it's great to have that plan as well, like you said, so that you have something to help you stay focused. So that's really great as well. So good job on that. Like, it's really exciting to hear that. What's something that you've learned through sports that has made you a better person outside of sports?
No, really, because it's hard for me. Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Is there something that maybe that you've learned about yourself through, I can overcome something or I can get better at something, and then life, you have school, you have your friendships, there's different things that you're doing that's like, oh, I talk to my teammates on the field, that's made me be a better communicator. So if there's anything, those are just examples. Now you have a plan, you know, you stay focused, you give yourself positive talk. And so if there's a class, you're like, oh my gosh, is this test going to be hard? And you're like, I can do it, Skylar. You can pass. You're going to get a good grade, and it kind of helps you. So those are just examples as to how sports may have, if that brought up something for you that has made you, helped you in your personal life.
Well, it helped me like communicate with my friends and family and sports. So it's kind of getting easier, and then it gets harder.
So how does it get easier, and then how does it get harder?
Like, I'm on track, and then it like things come up, and I'm like, wait, how am I gonna do this? Like, I have a softball game tonight, or I have a basketball practice. Like, what am I gonna do?
And then how do you figure it out?
Like, I ask for help. Like, I ask my dad, what should I do? I ask my mom, what do I do?
So how has your mom and your dad impacted you, your life as a student athlete?
They've been telling me, like, my dad said you should try softball, and I love softball. Like, I like playing it. My mom, she says basketball is fun too, so you should play basketball too. So they just want me to try out these things if I like it or not.
Are you glad that you tried them out?
Mhm.
That's good. So you get the best of like two different worlds, seeing the different sports.
Yeah,
And what's the biggest thing that your parents have helped you with?
that's a hard question. They've helped me like sometimes I worry about games because like I'm playing bigger leagues and bigger people. Like, it's hard because I'm small and they're bigger. So they're like, who cares if they're bigger? You can get under them, or you can run faster. And that's like how they told me.
And so were you able to do those things when you see those bigger people? Were you able to get past them and remove that block of fear from your mind?
Yeah.
How did you overcome that?
Well, I think that like bigger players are not that worried. Like, why should I be worried? It's just you have to play hard on them, like be strong and guard them, or like hit harder, like show them that you are fast and strong. They're not big.
Have you been able to show that?
Yes.
Good. That's awesome. But yeah, you got to do other things, right? Like, you always want to play a little bit harder and do all the little things right, because those are going to make the difference regardless of size in sports. So that's good. And then you're going to see that relate to life. You know, you're going to see things that we may think we're at a disadvantage somehow, but really it's just putting in that work and doing the little things, and we're going to see, you know, ourselves accomplish whatever goals we set in mind. So what is the future? What are your goals for the future? Like, what is things that you're looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to being a professional softball player.
Nice. That's awesome. And so what kind of work do you think that's going to take in order for you to do that?
A lot of work.
Yeah. What does that work look like?
Like a lot of hitting, throwing, and fielding, like hard practice.
Is there a school that you already want to go to or that you really like?
Well, no.
And so even just becoming a professional softball player, you're still going to need the academic portion, right? Because you got to go to college, and then you got to move on from there to become a professional softball player. So what does that look like for you in order to be a student athlete as you continue to move up through, you know, junior high, then high school, then college? You know, what kind of work do you have to put in the classroom as well?
I have to put in a lot of work. I have to study a lot so I can get good grades and so I can play sports. The only way I can play on softball teams is to have good grades so they'll let you play.
You got that right. So you're already a step ahead of the game, because that is exactly how it works.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Skylar, for being on the Mind Right Game Tight show. I really appreciate you being on and sharing your story and the journey that you guys got to nationals, 9th place. Even just getting to nationals is a huge accomplishment in itself. And at being 11 years old, you still have so much more to grow. But like you said, it's keeping up with that positive mentality, surrounding yourself with, you know, your positive mentors and your parents and your coaches who are continuously encouraging you, staying focused with your plan in the classroom. So you're like checking off all those points on like what it takes to become that professional softball player that you want. And you know you still need that education component that's going to help you get there as well. So you're on the right track, and I really appreciate you being on and sharing your story, because it is important. But one thing before you go, you got to finish this question. I am grateful for.
I'm grateful for playing sports a lot.
You're grateful for playing sports a lot?
I don't know.
Well, there's no right or wrong answer. It's your answer. So it's whatever you're grateful for. There's no right or wrong. It's just your answer.
I'm grateful for having a lovable family and very sporty family, and playing a lot of sports and winning nationals and having team parties and having a lot of fun.
Awesome. That sounds great. That's great. All that stuff is really amazing and great. So once again, thank you, Skylar, for being on the show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another edition of the Mind Right Game Tight Show. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. Treasure yourself and shine.